We wanted to talk about Trapattoni's kids. These are the Irish players who played under Giovanni Trapattoni, who are now part of various coaching tickets. So we've got Shay Given, part of Cuckoo's coaching ticket at Derby. John O'Shea, Reading first team coach. Richard Dunn, working with the Ireland under-16s. Sean St. Ledger, working with the Ireland under-15s. Kevin Kilban, media personality, who did of course coach for that 1 year at Hull. Liam Lawrence, media personality. Glenn Whelan, obviously started Ireland's most recent competitive international, currently without a club, released by Villa at the start of the summer. Keith Andrews, part of the under-21 coaching staff at the moment. Damien Duff, first team coach at Celtic. Robbie Keane, Irish assistant national coach and part of the Middlesbrough coaching ticket with Jonathan Woodgate. And Kevin Doyle, working with the Ireland under-17s. Is this a coincidence? Is it just...
No, we actually, majority of the lads here, we all did our coaching badges together while we were still involved with Ireland.
Right.
So there was about a group of about 12 of us that the FAA approached and said, would you like to kind of do your coaching badges while you're still playing?
Right, in Dublin.
So we'd come back in the summertime. So after we had a couple of qualifiers, and after qualifiers we had like a block of like a week or so where we did like intense coaching courses, and then throughout the season you'd be coaching at your club. So all of us did them. We all got A licence, and
right.
it was really good. So a couple of lads are going on now to start. They're starting the pro licence now. So it was a thought process that all the lads, they wanted to offer something. So because I think the FAI wanted to bring the players that were finishing back into the system as quick as they could to get the experience they would have playing directly back onto the pitch.
Whose idea was it? I
think we started talking about it first. I think Alan Kelly was the one that was kind of, he basically said to all, I honestly think that if you can do it while you're still playing, it's much better, because after you finish, it's harder to kind of get the motivation to want to do it. So while you're playing, and if you're doing it with a group of players that are all on the same level, whereas if you go and do your coaching badges now, you could go and do it with a bunch of people that have never kicked the ball, and not that makes a difference. They could all be very good coaches, but they're to be on a different wavelength to you in a sense of what you've seen around the training ground, the managers you've worked with.
Better to be in class with your mates.
Yeah, exactly. So the people you know, and you can bounce off with your own ideas. So that was the concept. And then when they were able to put together their program for us, it went really well. I loved it. I really enjoyed it, and it's like I said, all the guys are reaping the benefits from it now, because they're going on to pick up good roles.
Would you be interested in something like what the Kevin Doyle, Sean St. Ledger, Richard Dunn are doing?
I've had conversations with the FOI about doing that, and it wasn't right at the time for me. I was still playing, and it didn't lend itself with the time period. And then since I've retired, I've had opportunities in media, and I've really enjoyed them. So I've kind of just thought, I'm going to focus on this now, and this is the area that I want to kind of pursue. But it's something that I've always enjoyed, and it's different, because I think if you're coaching, like the lads with the underage teams are only in for a couple of weeks at a time, and that's different. They're just dipping their foot in, so they're just trying to get a feel for it. The lads now that are full-time roles at clubs, that changes, because you're then being like a player again. You're in a position where you have to move home, you have to move your family, you have to move everybody, and then as a coach it's a lot less forgiving. So within a few months you could be in a position where you're gone from that team and you have to move somewhere else. And so for me, at this moment in my life, with 2 young children and my wife, I want to be settled and happy. I don't want to have to be moving around the country and feeling that I don't have control over what I'm doing, basically.
And it's far worse than being a player, because you guys get to go home and are told to sit down, relax, rest up. The coaches are watching tape,
it's much more intense. Like I said, you're in earlier, you're finished later. Everything you're doing is geared around the team. So, I don't think you would leave it at, not that you leave football at the training ground, but there's a sense where when you walk off the pitch, you can kind of not forget about it, but you can come home and enjoy your life. Whereas as a coach, you're going to bring everything back. You're going to be concentrating, thinking, oh, should I have done that? Should I have done this? Is it, maybe, and you're probably making phone calls at home, just discussing tactics with your other coaches. And like I said, the chance, like as a player, if you have a 4-year contract, you can guarantee that you can stay at that club for 4 years if you want to. Like the club can do what they want to try and get rid of you, or if you want to go. But if you wanted to stay there for 4 years, you're there for 4 years, so you can be settled.
Yeah.
Like I said, as coach, you could be sacked within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The list is called Traps Kids. Which one of those future and current coaches is most likely to have the same philosophy as Giovanni Trapattoni?
Same philosophy.
The result is all that matters. Doesn't matter how we play.
You know what? I don't think anybody will have that.
Really?
No.
He turned them all off so badly.
I don't know if he turned them off. I think he'll definitely, the winning mentality that he has would be instilled in all these players and coaches, because he wanted to win and he knew how to win. But I think what he tried to do was, like if you look at Trapattoni, the teams he coached before, I don't think he would have played the same way we played.
Sure.
I think he looked at the squad we had, and like I said, it's a very talented squad and probably one of the most talented we've had for a long time. But he just thought this was the best way to get results out of this team. So, which is, you know, it was a strict 4-4-2. As a fullback, you were restricted to how far you went up the pitch. You were allowed to join in and show support from behind, but like you weren't encouraged to go flying forward and bomb on and vacate spaces. It was all about containing teams, and it worked well because we qualified for a major tournament. We came close to qualifying for a World Cup. So, you know, the lads would definitely have taken bits out of what he's done, and his intensity on the sidelines and his passion for it was evident. Like he was a 7-year-old man, and he was, you know, so passionate about what he did and how he conducted himself. But in philosophy-wise, I don't think there'd be a single player there that won't be trying to play out from the back and do the way football people want to see football now. They want to see free-flowing passing football. Everybody wants to see people play like Barcelona, which is not going to be the case, but they'll try and achieve as close to that as possible with the teams that they're at.
Did you learn anything from Trapattoni?
Personally, as a player, I would have learned a few things from him. Like he had this obsession with double marking, he used to call it, so basically doubling up on somebody. It's not something you learn, but it was just something that he would have really, really focused the whole time. So he really wanted the fullback and the winger to make sure that if the winger, like it was tougher for the winger because they always had to get back to help you with your man. But it was just more of it was a concept that he wanted to, every time that their winger had the ball, he wanted to have the two players around them. And I'd never seen it done that intensely before. Most teams would encourage it, but he wouldn't. He demanded it every time.
Right. So that was kind of
yeah, it's just basing it. But like I said, when it comes to learning, as an international manager, because you spend so little time with them, they're not going to influence your playing ability, and they're not going to coach you to be a much better player. They've got you for 2 weeks, and they just want to try and get you to play a position that they want and do the best for that short space of time as they possibly can. So it's harder. You're going to be more influenced by the managers that have you day to day.
Do you think any of those guys are going to go on to manage Ireland?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that some of those lads will go on to manage Ireland. Like obviously Robbie is the front runner at the moment, considering how close he is to it already. But then Damien's a quiet one, and he's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, a bit of coaching underage with like Rovers, and then now he's in Celtic, and he's kind of moved up the ladder Celtic quite quickly.
Yeah.
Keith, Keith, he's been here quite a bit, and Keith is into his coaching. He's liked it. He's obviously done extremely well on the media side of things, but he's intense, and in the coaching badges, he was very good at what he did. I think any of the lads here have got the capability to do it. It's just, whether they get those opportunities. And I think now, though, there's a big trend with giving players that are just finished football to give them coaching roles, because they're looking to get a quick turnover, like you'd see with Gerrard, and obviously Lampard has taken over Chelsea, which is unbelievable. But those players seem to be given roles in teams very quickly, whereas before you wouldn't have seen it happen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good stuff, Stephen. That's the Trapattoni's Kids part of the show done. It is 8:42 this morning on OTB AM. Gregor Paul of the New Zealand Herald is up next to talk to us about the All Blacks.